Andrew Kierszenbaum. Welcome to Pittsburgh. We're delighted to have you at Heinz Hall. We're here in the Mozart Room. I'm Jim Cunningham from Classical QED 89.3, a world premiere of Arcane, which is directly tied to the music that you wrote for League of Legends. We want to talk about you. We want to talk about the show here at Heinz Hall, and of course about the Netflix spectacular Arcane. A delight to have you here.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, this is a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Where did this idea start of doing a symphony orchestra concert with your music?
So I am one of the composers on Arcane, and ever since Arcane ended its 2 seasons, ended in 2024, ever since it ended, I, like a lot of fans of the show, wanted more. Music, I feel like, is so exciting live, and Arcane's music, to me, I got to contribute to it, but it's so special, and so for a while I wanted this to be something live. And so that, I had that idea since Arcane ended. And then the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra expressed support in this idea of a show, that takes you through Arcane, the story, me as one of the composers, presenting it and giving behind the scenes. And so to me, it's a perfect confluence of factors of, wanting the story of Arcane to continue and then meeting a great collaborator that made it possible.
What do you know about Pittsburgh and the Pittsburgh Symphony? You're a West Coaster. LA was your home from the start.
That's right. I've never been to Pittsburgh. This is my first time here. I'm loving it. I went to school in Philadelphia, which I know, boo a little bit, but I love Pittsburgh. I haven't gotten to experience the orchestra, live. This has been my first show, even in the same room. But I'm just excited, Jim. I think it's going to be a super fun time. I've loved every part about Pittsburgh so far. And I just can't wait for this concert.
You will share some of the behind-the-scenes background of the show that is huge on Netflix. Do you know the round numbers? How many people watched?
I don't know. I don't know the round numbers. I know it was #1 for a while when it came out. It has a massive following, of devoted fans, similar to League of Legends, the game it's based on. It has this kind of cult fandom that is, lives and breathes this stuff. So, I know it's massive. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's a pleasure to get to be, been a part of it.
And League of Legends was, I always want to say League of Nations. League of Legends was also huge. Not tens of thousands. We're talking millions of people have played it around the world.
The millions. It's kind of hard to grasp being in the U.S. because while it is massive here, it's part of this new generation of esports that are broadcast nationwide. I think it's hard to grasp the scale because it's massive here, but it's just unbelievably massive in Asia, in South Korea, Japan, I think China, and I've heard stories of restaurants giving discounts based on how good of a player you are in this game. So it truly is has its reach, and Arcane being based on it, I think, as being part of that family is, gets some of that.
So it's not just going to be a concert of your music played by the Pittsburgh Symphony. It's more than that.
It's more than that. It's music from the show, from our team of composers that, the music I love so much. But it's really me inviting you into this world.
My name is Andrew Kierszenbaum. I'm a composer and pianist, and I was one of the composers for Arcane.
Some people, might not have seen Arcane, and I want this to be a way also for people coming from League of Legends, from these, maybe younger, these gaming worlds, it might be their first time experiencing orchestra music. And I think if I can be a part of their first exposure to the concert hall, to PSO, to the wonderful world of orchestra, film, and classical music, I think that would be incredible and would be something I'm definitely going for here.
Can you explain for new people? I'm sure that some passionate fans are going to bring family members that, as you suggest, may not know League of Legends, Arcane. So what is this world all about? We have Piltover and we have Zon.
Right.
And this is kind of like the haves and have-nots. Would you call it dystopian? How would you describe the overall atmosphere and mood? It's an animated series.
It is an animated series. I like to tell people, first of all, it's this beautifully animated series. I think sometimes when we think animated, we think maybe for children or something. This is a standalone drama that isn't quite adult because it does appeal to kids, but the animation looks like an oil painting. It's something that's very pleasing to watch. I have friends who tell me they forget it's animated. You're so drawn in by the high quality, art really draws you in. And you're right. It's funny you bring up Piltover and Zahn. The story is a tale of two cities, and also tells the story of two sisters that get split up as they grow up, and then have to find their way, back to each other. Very, tough story on there. And it also tells the story of two inventors that create this revolutionary kind of steampunk industrial revolution-esque technology, and how they grapple with that and the morality of creating an invention that kind of takes over and gets out of hand maybe. So I think there are a lot of universal themes that are discussed in this show.
The music that you've written, influenced by Debussy, Chopin, Rachmaninoff. You're a fine pianist and you can play all those.
Thank you. I have played piano since I was 4. I love the piano. I'm at home on the piano, and I still to this day also keep up my classical. My favorite composers are, as you said, Chopin, Rachmaninoff I love as well, Brahms, and I think these all find their way into my compositions in Arcane, and I couldn't be happier.
You learned the classics at Colburn School in Los Angeles, also at the University of Pennsylvania, so you're a Keystone Stater. That's nice.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I love Colburn. My professor there, Mr. Lavner, was very formative for me, and then everybody at Penn as well was very supportive. So I'm very grateful to both places.
So you're a romantic at heart.
I think so. I think that music to me speaks, the most clearly, and really just evokes, passion, and really also fits the world of Arcane as well. I think the music of Arcane really is romantic, neo-romantic at heart.
But there are some pop music influences too. We hear the rappers, the hip hop for a moment, some pops, there's some singing, but you worked with 2 other collaborators. It's not just your voice.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's funny you mention that, because the score is romantic, neo-romantic. I would say every episode does have 1, 2, sometimes 3 pop songs that are original, that lend, I think, to me, what's beautiful about it is it makes the music of Arcane very expansive and broad. I think it doesn't limit itself to one genre. I think the pop music brings in another audience, that might, you have your, people who like orchestra music, but then the pop side also lends itself. And there's also, in the show, there's choreographed scenes to this pop music. So it's very well integrated, in my opinion. And when you mentioned my other co-composers, I think they also, have different voices and different inspirations. And so it's really an eclectic mix that I feel like, there's something for everyone in the score, whether it's a pop song or incidental, orchestral music.
Andrew, you worked with Sting.
Yes. Sting, nothing needs to be said for Sting. He's a legend, a true artist and auteur. So he contributed an original song for Arcane at the end of season 1. And it's a really poignant moment, very climactic scene at the end of the season, and you can just feel the emotion and performance he brings to that song. But he's just, nothing needs to be said for Sting. He's amazing, and he was kind enough to lend his talents to Arcane.
So will you demonstrate things from the piano? Will you turn to the audience and speak?
I will. I'll be speaking the entire concert in between every couple songs. I'll be discussing, where the song came from. I'll be taking us through the plot of Arcane as well.
Chase, one of our inventors, has risen from inventor to counselor, and after a brief introduction, the solo violin, played by our wonderful concertmaster Justine, will enter.
And I really just hope it feels kind of like a conversation. I'm inviting, the audience into this world, people who might not have seen the show, and I really want it to feel like I'm holding us by the hand, taking us through this world that there's a lot going on, and I kind of want to be the guide for it.